Greg, the new House GOP majority adjourned Tuesday with no Speaker of the House. Republicans are locked in a once-in-a-century battle. Republican Kevin McCarthy failed to secure the 218 votes needed to win in 3 rounds of voting on Tuesday. Voting resumes today, and House members hope to avoid the historic 1856 2-month and 133 ballot rounds to appoint a House Speaker.
Is it the day I wanted to have? No. I mean, there was a lot of things we wanted to do. We wanted to repeal 87,000 IRS agents. We wanted to set up a number of investigations we had going. We wanted to notice the different committee hearings we'd have actually on the board. None of that got transpired. But if we're able to work out our differences and take this time, we'll only be stronger to be able to accomplish the things we want.
Florida Republican Byron Donalds voted for McCarthy in the first 2 rounds and then joined 19 of his Republican colleagues in voting for Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio in the third. He explained why earlier this morning.
At that point, we were basically deadlocked, and it was pretty clear that he didn't have the votes. So my thoughts is, okay, if he doesn't have the votes, what are we going to do as a conference to either find someone who can get to 218 or at a minimum adjourn what we were doing, get off the floor so the needed negotiations can happen. I think that it was actually not in a good place for the Republican conference to stay on the House floor yesterday and continuously vote. Look, a lot of people back home are trying to figure out what's going on Capitol Hill, but what we are really having is a deliberative process about House leadership and about what is needed to get Washington back on track.
Jim Jordan called for unity from the party and nominated Kevin McCarthy yesterday. Without a speaker, the House cannot swear in its members and name its committee chairman, engage in floor proceedings, and launch investigations of the Biden administration.
And today is round 2 of Republicans seeking to elect a Speaker of the House. Now, Jim Jordan was nominated as an alternative to Kevin McCarthy, but he stated, quote, "I've been clear I want to chair the Judiciary Committee." How do you see the struggle between GOP party members resolving or going forward?
Well, this morning, former President Donald Trump came out with a strong endorsement calling on all GOP members to support Kevin McCarthy. We will see later today exactly if any movement has been made. Ultimately, we are seeing democracy happen before our very eyes, and I'm really hoping that we can come to a resolution because we do have an agenda items such as defunding the IRS agents and, restoring parents' rights and oversight committees that we need to get to on behalf of the American people.
Last night, Tucker Carlson offered a unique idea to expose the FBI's conduct and, of all things, make Kevin McCarthy the speaker. Here it is.
The FBI is now a bigger force than any single group of voters. This cannot continue. It is poison, and Kevin McCarthy is uniquely situated right now to stop it. So by striking a deal with his 20 colleagues, McCarthy could restore our system to health and at the very same time get the job he has always wanted.
Carlson said providing a committee to investigate the FBI and its misdeeds is the kind of thing America deserves, and McCarthy needs to offer his opponents to get the speaker's vote. What do you think?
I would be absolutely in favor of that. I think with the 19 Republicans that are holding out, they're claiming that they want to drain the swamp. There's nothing more swampy right now that we've seen recently than the actions of the FBI going after parent groups, going after pro-life groups, going after suppressing people on Twitter and social media platforms. So I think there should be a full investigation. I'm fully in favor of that. And it's time to have the speaker and move forward with our democracy and our republic.
Now, there's a freshman representative, George Santos, and he's faced big criticism for lying about himself and his background to win that congressional seat. Once the dust settles on the House Speaker debate, should Santos be sworn in and seated?
He will be sworn in, he will be seated, and then people can decide if they want to elect him again when he runs for re-election. We've seen even from this president that he has lied repeatedly, and he's still the president of the United States. It doesn't work that he's just unseated. The American people, the people of his district made a choice, and so then they can decide whether or not they want to keep him there or remove him in the future.
As we go today, it's really interesting. I feel like there's a line being drawn in the sand in everything. Which side? You have to choose now which side you're going to be on. You're going to be on the side of righteousness, choose life. It's very much like Deuteronomy chapter 30 when God drew a line and said, you'll choose what you're going to be.
Yeah, and Greg, I think so many people, especially people that aren't really familiar with how the process is working in Washington, D.C. right now, and you mentioned this a moment ago, that this is a healthy thing. This is a healthy process. The fact that there's several votes going on, and right now we don't know who the speaker is, but really, God's not, he's not surprised by any of this, and he's still on the throne, and he's still in charge. So we're just going to pray. And don't let this be a thing that bothers you. Don't let your heart be troubled. Father, we thank you that your will be done in this nation, that your will is being done now in Congress, Father. As this vote goes on, Father, we thank you for your person to be elected as Speaker of the House, Lord. We thank you for the right people to be in the right places in our government, Lord.